Call the meeting to order.
Councilman Munger,
Present.
Councilman Karakini,
Present.
Supervisor Keating,
Present.
Councilwoman Lukacek. Present. Councilwoman Lukacek, pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, under preliminary matters this evening, we have a lease and depository agreement. Anybody wants to see this? It's been standard practice in the town for the past few years. But this is a lease and depository agreement between the town of Boston and Boston Free Library. Every year we provided the library $1,000 essentially for use of their space for either meetings or holding on to some of our paperwork or publishing information. Again, it's a lengthy lease, it's 4 pages. It'll be signed by myself and then also by Suzanne Borowitz, who's the president of the Boston Free Library Association. But I want to make a motion to approve the lease and depository agreement.
I'll second that.
Councilman Munger,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek.
Yes.
Motion
Okay.
carried.
Item number 2 on regular business, we have the correction and adoption of the minutes for February 21st, 2018. Councilman Munger.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. At this time, I have had the opportunity to review the meeting minutes from the February 21st meeting and find no errors or omissions, and at this time would make a motion to have them approved.
I'll second it.
Councilman Munger,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, item number 2 under regular business, the consideration of all the fund bills. Councilman Munger.
Thank you again, Mr. Supervisor. I've also had an opportunity to look through all bills and do an audit on them, and at this time would like to make a motion to approve to pay the fund bills in the amount of $161,807.53.
I second.
Councilman Munger,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, item number 3, under correspondence. One of the other things, I discussed this briefly at the last board meeting, again, just kind of simplify things and also be transparent with the community. Through our software program Logix, we're able to provide what's called an income statement. A little bit different than the supervisory report, but it's a nice way to break down not only for the resident, but also for the board members. It brings on all of the account and revenue codes, the specific account description with each of those. It shows the original appropriation amount, followed by the estimated revenue or expense that has currently happened, followed by a year to date, and then the only portion that the bookkeeper has added in was a percentage of year to date. Again, something that I wanted to offer out to the public, to the board, make everybody's life a little bit easier so we can assess ourselds as the year goes on. But right now I want to file that under correspondence. Item number 4, new business. We have requests from the floor. It's a 3-minute time limit. I'll make a motion to open up the floor.
I'll second that motion.
Councilman Munger,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Come on up, Kathy.
So someone's got to be the leader of the band. I'm Kathy, I'm president of the Boston Historical Society. Forgot to tell you guys ahead of time to announce it. But tonight's hat I'm wearing is the president of the Boston Historical Society. And we're having our potluck dinner the 3rd Tuesday of April, the 17th. Just bring a dish. The meal starts at 6. Speaker is going to be at 6:45. And because we're having a declination of the bee population, our guest speaker is going to be talking about beekeeping. So anybody and everybody's welcome. Bring a dish, and it's a lot of fun. Thank you.
I'll put that out on the, Liz or I'll put that out on the town Facebook page and the website for you.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Joe Wells, 7840 Boston State Road. This past Friday, I understand it was an unusual circumstance, but I left my house at 5:30 in the morning to go to a project I had going, and Boston State Road hadn't been touched yet. I was pushing snow up even to my headlights to get from my place to the traffic light in North Boston. Once I went through the traffic light in North Boston, there was possibly an inch of snow on the road because the state does that. I don't know if it would help if the town sent a letter to the county, but Boston State Road started covering at 7 o'clock Thursday night. Now, I wasn't in town, but I've heard from several people that the first county plow came down Boston State Road at 10 o'clock Friday morning. I mean, if the town can do their roads and the state can do their roads, there's no reason why the county can't do their roads. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Carl Simmons, 6678 Meadowbrook Drive, Boston. I see on the agenda tonight under number 5, you have scheduled a public hearing for the exemption of the Cold War veterans. And on behalf of all the Cold War veterans in town, I want to thank you guys for looking at this and making it no exemption at all, taking away the 10-year period. So thank you for doing that.
Anyone else?
Larry Murtha, 6225 Shore Road. I want to thank the board for putting requests from the floor at the beginning of the meeting instead of the end. Also, I need some advice on how to get NYSEG or ask one to whoever they subcontract to get these trees cut down. We've had 6 power outages, some of them lengthy up on Shore Road. All 6 customers have had to suffer 6 times in the last year alone. And things start to melt, you know how that goes. I don't know what can be done, if we have a resolution sent to them, or something like that to that effect, but it's getting tiresome. And now we got some sick people on the street that can't afford to lose their electricity too many more times. Thank you.
Anyone else, Mike? No? Okay.
Hi, everyone. I just want to mention that the county roads are in the area here, are not done properly during the winter and the summer. Patching them with Band-Aids is not a good thing either, you know, and they just, Zimmerman Road, Back Creek Road, there's a number of roads around that are bad. And I know you've already sent a letter to the county about it, but I don't know what else you can do. John Mills is here tonight.
Right. Yeah,
Maybe you could talk to him.
John hears from me quite a bit, as of lately. Actually, just so you know, sir, I actually drove down Back Creek this morning. There was a resident. Yeah, I will respond to that. There's a complaint at the far end of Back Creek that came in that just between Patchen Road and out towards Mill, that was down to 1 lane because of a low-hanging wire. 2 days I've gone through there, physically taking pictures of my phone, taking video. I sent it out to myself and actually Liz, who works in my office. We sent those photos over to NYSEG. We sent them over to the county. So it's documented. They see this, the situation. So we'll stay on top of it. We'll keep documenting those processes. And hopefully we can get some results soon. But thank you for coming in. Anyone else? All right. I'll make a motion to close the floor.
I'll second that.
Councilman Councilman Munger,
Yes.
Councilman Cardicchini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, item number 4 under new business, or number 2 under the new business, we have guest speakers. Councilman Munger.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Yes, we do have some very honored guests here this evening to celebrate, as many of you, I'm sure, have heard. Our very own town supervisor, Mr. Jason Keating, is the first supervisor in the state of New York to have become certified as a certified town official with the associations of towns. And we, as I said, have some very honored guests here this evening who would like to take a moment to celebrate that with Supervisor Keating. So I'm going to call people up one at a time. I hope that's okay, because I know they each have some important things to say. And I think we'll start with our very own Erie County legislator, Mr. John Mills.
Thank you. I wonder if Supervisor could come up here for me. A proclamation from Erie County Legislature honoring your completion of this course at Association Erie, of State Association. Sure. Zimmerman Road take care of you all right? We're good, we're good. Zimmerman Road, by the way, we're introducing a resolution to the legislature next Thursday to gather $5 million out of our fund balance. We did this about 4 years ago to help with the reconstruction of roads that are in desperate need of reconstruction. Back Creek, Zimmerman, are two of the roads I have on my target, just in the town of Boston. So I think I've got support of the legislature, town executive. That may be another issue, but if we force them to take that $5 million out of fund balance, maybe make it 10 if we can do it. We'll do lots of the town of Boston. Finally got 391 done. Now we can't follow. It's tough to make the county walk and chew gum at the same time. I've been working on it for 13 years, and I can tell you we're going to continue to do that. I got some other things, popular surprises for the administration we don't come through. So, anyway, as a councilman for 2 years in town of Orchard Park, I went to the Association of Counties in New York City, I should say towns. And you learn a lot. You learn a lot, not only from the classes they hold on government, but also you learn a lot from other supervisors, and town board members, attorneys. I used to sit on some supervisory classes. I sat on some attorney classes, things like that. You learn a lot. But the exchange between yourself and downstate and central New York are just invaluable. So I want to congratulate you on this. This is an undertaking. This is a wonderful thing. So I want to read this proclamation real quick. I'm sure there's others coming after me, but this helps cement relationships that this legislature has with its towns and its district. It brings to light exactly the talent we have in Erie County, especially in my district, and I'm proud of it. So I got another diamond in the rough here. So, having said that, whereas Erie County Legislature seeks to honor individuals and institutions of Erie County to enhance the quality of life in the community through their efforts. And whereas Town of Boston Supervisor Jason Keating has been recognized by the Association of Towns in the State of New York for his commitment to public service through the continued education and training efforts. And whereas Supervisor Keating has become the first supervisor, the first in the State of New York to become a certified town official through the Association of Towns program. And whereas Supervisor Keating completed 30 credit hours spread across 10 subject areas encompassing the primary functions of local municipal government and the tasks and responsibilities of local government departments. Whereas Supervisor Keating served as a Town of Boston councilman for 2 years, was elected supervisor in 2017 with the goal of promoting efficiency, effectiveness, in government. Now therefore be resolved, Erie County Legislature pauses in its deliberation to honor Supervisor Jason Keating for his taking the initiative to strengthen his management and leadership skills expand its knowledge and capabilities for the benefit of the residents of the town of Boston. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. You can come back. We'll make you come back out again.
Maybe you should
I'm-
just stay there.
I'm emceeing. I get to be in control of this.
See, this I get to work with.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. You can stay down. Mickey, I'm glad you came in. It was perfect timing because you're on my list next.
Oh, good.
Next we're going to introduce County Clerk Mickey Kearns.
I just want to say a few things. One, John Mills, as a legislator and chairman of the legislature, has done a fine job. And when I would listen and hear from people, I would ask, I know the response is, how's John doing? Never before has the legislature worked so closely together, sessions starting on time. As a businessman, he ran that legislature, working with Majority Leader Joe Larigo. And it just goes to show you, people who have had some type of prior experience before they come into office, I believe, make the best elected officials. I was a councilman, and I was a state assembly member, and I used to say people should not be allowed to be even state officials until they work with the local community, because the local officials, that's where the rubber meets the road. And I see my good friend here, Mitch from Senator Patrick Gavin's office, another great representative for us in Albany, who was the former Erie County Sheriff. This is the great thing about following John. He's done all my official stuff. He explained what the program is. John, it's good to see you, and thank you. See a representative from Dave DiPietro's office? Oh, there's-
God, you're stealing my thunder, man, Dave.
I'm sorry. But it just, we want to make sure that all of our elected officials are recognized, because we do have a close group. So here's what I'm going to say. The other day I had the opportunity to meet with Jason, and we sat down. And first of all, I was jealous because Liz is in the same office as him, so he doesn't have to scream like I do to my colleagues. And Kelly, and right away, there's Dave Shea, go over there, Carl, go through the whole crew. But we, you know, they were interacting together, and right from the beginning, we started talking about how we are going to work together. That's not when, it's not if. We are going to work together on initiatives, and I was so impressed with some of the things that he conveyed to me that he's already doing. We talked about policy, we talked about how he's going to professionalize the office. I was very impressed with how he's going to manage, and that's coming from the private sector, his experience and what he wants to do. He has a passion for Boston, and I'll tell you, I really enjoy the ride coming here. And I'm going to be here more often, and we're going to be partnering together. And we have some surprises for you. We're going to be working with the legislature and John Mills. Like I said, I cannot talk and say enough good things about John. I'm so lucky to have been able to work with him when I was an assemblyman, now that I'm the Erie County Clerk. And we have some changes at the clerk's office too. We're going to be opening up more satellites. We're going to bring government closer to the people. That's what I believe in. I am the type of person, and I know Jason, and I know John, we're not status quo. And I think that's what people are looking for in government. They want to see some type of change. And I have lots of ideas that we're going to work together on, and I'm going to need the legislator and the legislature's support, and hopefully we can get most of those things done. But this is your day. This is your honor. I want to just commend you also. I was so impressed when I read with your credentials. So I just want to thank you for giving me a few minutes to talk about you and all the good things you're doing. And, you know, Jason, I got to give you one piece of advice. Just keep on having that optimistic, positive outlook that you have. And I know you will, and I know the people in the town of Boston are going to say, wow, we made the right choice. And I know I've seen some of the council members who I helped swear in. I want to congratulate you. I've been hearing nothing but positive things in the community. So with that, thank you, congratulations, and good luck.
You know, you can stay there. Yes, sir. As Mickey may have alluded to in his speech, we do have more people. The next group that we are going to move on to is we have some representatives from Assemblyman David DiPietro's office. We have his Chief of Staff, Christine Gerlinger, and we have our very own town member, Carl Simmet, who will be speaking on behalf of the Assemblyman.
Come on, Chris, do you want to?
Yeah, come on.
It's your town, I was gonna take the pictures.
Okay, that's fine. What's nice about following John Mills and
Hold on, I'll go.
Mickey Kearns is I don't have to say much. It's just Jason. Jason, we're very proud of you. You're doing a great job. You should be proud. Your wife should be proud. Your daughter should be proud. Keep up the good work. Buddy, stay humble.
Next, we have Jason staying exactly where he is. And another town resident that we're going to invite up from Senator Patrick Galvin's office, our very own Mitch Martin.
Well, Supervisor, unfortunately, Senator Galvin couldn't be here today. He's on his way back from Albany. Even though they canceled session, they still had work to do. He did ask me to come here to present this to you. I can tell you from my own experience, being a town resident and last year actually attending some of these classes with you, you said back then you planned to do this, and I congratulate you for doing it. It's good to have someone keep their word. I'm not going to read it. It's whereas.
I'm sure it'll be in the supervisor's office for review if anybody needs to look upon the notes. And I must say I am remiss in the next two on my list. I do not know them from. No, they are not. Okay, this is good. This is why we need you, Liz. I'm going to ask if there is anybody else that is not currently on my list that came to give anything as a speech or anything that they'd like to say in regards to Jason's momentous accomplishment. And I'll even open that up to the town if any of the residents would like to say anything in regards to Jason.
Well done.
Liz? Liz?
Well, I'm proud of Jason, but I want to thank his wife and daughter because they have given him so much support so he could do this for all of us. Yeah. So I want to give a hand to Aaron and Jill for all of us.
Very well put, Liz. We, of course, as any members of government, can't do it without our families. So, all right, how about another big round of applause? For the first certified town official, Supervisor Jason Diaz. I just like it when they let me use the mic the way I'm used to. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm a humble person. I don't. You try to tout it too much, but I thank you all for your combined efforts to make this happen. Again, this was, as I stated last year when I started attending the Association of Towns. This is my commitment to you as a residents. It was an opportunity provided, and I will agree with Zach. Really, if it wasn't for my wife and my daughter, giving me the opportunity and giving me the backing and support, it does mean a lot. So, thank you to all of you. So, all right. Without further ado, we'll move on. All right. Under new business, we have item number 3, resolution 2018-14, which is the dog control officer duties and compensation. I'm going to take this resolution for tonight.
The resolution, historically, the dog control officer position, basically, it's always been a position where the dog control officer would answer the calls, and then there would be an enumeration. And enumeration is nothing more than a census for the town of Boston. The dog control officer would go out and say if they were to stop by my house, they would identify Jason Keating as one dog. And they would tally that dog, and that information would match up with New York State agricultural markets. It would help out the town clerk's office, et cetera. It was always a compensation by $1 per parcel. I've reached out to some best practices from other townships, and they actually require it to be done as part of the job description. So essentially what this resolution is doing is it's actually taking the dog enumeration, building it into the description of the dog control officer. So it's something that actually happens, and that compensation is now built into the salary. So with that being said, I would like to make a motion for item number 3, resolution 2018-14, which is the dog control officer duties and compensation, to be approved.
I would second that.
Councilman Munger,
Yes?
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashev.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item number 4, under new business, resolution 2018 number 15, Councilman Munger.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Yes, this resolution is approving a pay increase for the office of the town hall laborer. At our January recertification meeting, actually prior to that, in the budget, one of our laborers' raise was looked over, we'll say. This resolution is to rectify that being missed. So I would like to make a motion that resolution number 2018-15 be approved, changing the rate of pay at unchanged of $15 an hour to the changed rate of $16 an hour.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Councilman Munger,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashev.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, item number 5, under new business, schedule a public hearing. Councilwoman Lukashev.
So this is, we're gonna be scheduling a public hearing, amending the local law 4 of 2008, which affords a real property tax exemption for Cold War veterans, to remove the 10-year limitation on that tax exemption. I make a motion that we approve, scheduling the public hearing.
I'll second.
Councilman Munger,
Can we get a little bit more specific with that, scheduling that public hearing for April 14th, 2018 at 7:45 p.m.?
is it April 4th?
I'm sorry, 4th. That's
April 4th.
I left my glasses in the car.
Okay, Councilman Munger,
With that amendment, yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashev.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item number 6, under new business, application for use of town facility for the Boston Historical Society. Councilman Munger.
Who's sick of hearing from me? All right, ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is a use of town facility, the meeting facility, as proposed by the Boston Historical Society and President Kathy Projaklo. It is for the date of April 17th, 2018, between the hours of 3 and 6. Did you say this is hot lot? Or is this just a normal
The
meeting?
17th, that's the stuff that, I need time to set up.
Oh, okay.
So dinner's at 6
Okay.
and meeting's at 6:45.
That's what I thought. So this is an additional setup time prior to
Right.
the potluck dinner. I would like to make a motion that we approve the use of facility for the Historical Society.
A second.
Councilman Munger,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashev.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item number 7, under new business, we have another application for use of facility for the Hamburg Junior Baseball Softball League. Councilman Karakini.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. We have an application for the use of facility by the Hamburg Junior Baseball and Softball League. This application of use covers from April 2nd to August 19th.
weeknights 5:15 to sunset, weekends 9 to 5. And they're asking for the town park, the baseball diamonds 1, 2, and 3, bathroom facilities, town fields, and parking. I make a motion, we accept this application for use.
I'll second.
Councilman Munger,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashev.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. Number 8 under new business, another application for use of facility for the Boston Badgers baseball. Councilman Lukashev.
The Boston Badgers have sent in a request for the use of the North Boston baseball field throughout the summer, starting at 6. I make a motion that we accept the application for use for Boston Badgers throughout the summer at 6.
I'll second.
Councilman Munger,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashev.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item number 9 under new business, we have Sharon Stewart requesting a reappointment for Conservation Advisory Council. Councilman Karakini.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Sharon Stewart has requested to be reappointed to the Boston Conservation Advisory Council. Her term expires this March, and I'd like to make a motion that we reappoint her to the Town of Boston Conservation Advisory Council with her term to expire on March 1st, 2021.
I would second that motion.
Councilman Munger,
Yes?
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashev.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item number 10 under new business, we have town clerk Quinlan request to attend an annual conference. I reviewed all the information. This is for our town clerk to continue her education, and obviously after the last few minutes here, anybody knows I am a large supporter of education, so I will make a motion to support the town clerk to attend this conference.
And in hopes that we can have another party, I'll second it.
Councilman Munger,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini.
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukashev.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried.
All right, we have no items under old business tonight, so we'll move on to reports and presentations. Highway Superintendent.
As far as Parks Superintendent, I'm the Parks Superintendent, and the Parks Department has 2 lawnmower tractors for sale. They're John Deere's. One's a 2010, one's a 2016. You can go online on Auctions International. They're up for another whole week. They just started yesterday. So if you want to bid on the tractors, if you want to come and look at them, you can come and look at them at the Parks Department. We had to get new tractors because the tractors we have do not have rollover protection, and now PESH comes in and tells us the tractors have to have the rollover bar. So that's why we're selling the 2016. It's a great tractor, so if anybody interested, you can go online, Auctions International, and you can bid on them. The other thing is, as far as plowing last Thursday night and Friday, I think the town did a pretty great job. We had several trees. My guys have been telling me all night long, we got a tree down in such and such a